Can you get coronavirus from packages? No, not really, but some people think that you can. In this video, I'm also going to go over the impact of the coronavirus and where we're at currently right now. Let's jump right in. First off, there was a recent study where it looked at the coronavirus and determined how long it could live on certain surfaces. When they looked at things like copper and cardboard, it doesn't live very long. Cardboard can live up to 40 hours, but if you look at how long it's a viable virus, it goes maybe 4 to 8 hours, so it's not very likely that your packages are going to be infected with coronavirus. Unless the mailman sneezes on them right before he hands them to you and he has the coronavirus, you're probably okay. That being said, if you look at stainless steel, the coronavirus can live on steel for 72 hours, and it's viable on steel for at least 24 hours. So that is one of the main reasons that gyms need to be canceled. Someone who has the coronavirus and goes to a gym, if they get any of that on the equipment, it can last for several days. And you really don't want to get the coronavirus going to a gym trying to work out. That's just not a fun time. So even though it sucks that a lot of things are shut down, a lot of things are quarantined, it's actually really important in stopping the spread of this virus. Another big one is plastic. You see here that it can live on plastic for, again, about 80 hours, and that it's viable on plastic for something like 48 hours. You're safe from most things. This is why social distancing is really important, because yes, it can transfer through objects, but it's much more likely to transfer from person to person directly. So even though I guess it is possible to get it from certain objects, it's much, much less likely because you can see they decay fairly quickly. Now, what about the economy? How is that doing? Even the people who don't necessarily get the coronavirus or have family members who get it are certainly going to be impacted by this economy. And that's because it's going really poorly right now. As a matter of fact, if you look at the Dow Jones, here you can see that since Trump's presidency, it has increased fairly dramatically, all the way up to almost 30,000 points. However, because of the coronavirus in the past month, it has decreased by about 1/3. And it's not just rich people who are affected by this. By no means am I rich, but I also have seen my stocks decrease by about 33% in the past month alone. And that's a pretty hard hit. What we're doing right now with social isolation and quarantine may be a necessity, but the economy cannot take it for very long. We need to have some way we can see an end goal or get out of this soon because it's not working. Our GDP is taking a huge hit and it's going to continue to get worse. Now let's look at where we are so far. At the time of this recording, there are 259,000 cases reported globally. Now, that doesn't mean that there are 259,000 people infected, because there are certainly much more than that. It's because not everyone can be tested or has been tested. So just because we see that there are this many cases doesn't mean there are really that many infected. It's significantly more. In the United States, we now have 18,000 positive cases and 227 deaths. One thing to point out is that it is targeting people who are elderly or who have underlying health conditions. That doesn't mean that if you're young and healthy you can't get it, but it does mean it'll be less severe for you than it would be, for example, your grandfather. This is why social distancing is fairly important. If you get it and you're a carrier without even knowing it, if you visit some of your elderly or sickly relatives, they could get it from you, and that would really suck because they could die from it. People who are not very healthy at the moment should not have nearly as much physical contact. Now, getting back to the economy real quick, there is this poll showing that nearly 1 in 5 workers were impacted by the coronavirus when it came to their jobs. Either they were fired outright or they lost hours or something of that nature. And once again, this is a really, really big deal. Our economy is tanking right now. There are some companies that are still doing pretty well. Amazon, for example, is looking to hire 100,000 new workers, which is a huge deal. I know there are plenty of people who don't like Amazon. They complain about their tax rates and all those things. And if you want to complain about that, that's fine. But the fact of the matter is, if we did not have Amazon right now during this outbreak, things would be significantly worse. Not just because they're going to hire 100,000 more people, but because they can deliver things to your house if you need it. You go to the store, some things are out, you can just buy it on Amazon. Amazon is a wonderful company right now, and I am extremely grateful that it exists. The government response to this, to try and boost the economy, is going to give every American adult $1,000 and every child $500. This sounds awfully familiar somewhere. I'm trying to think about where I've heard it before. Can't really place it. This is what they're trying to do to help out the economy, among other things, including giving small businesses loans and all of those things. And I guess we'll see how it works. To me, it kind of seems like just a shot in the dark to kind of keep us limping along for a little bit, but who knows, maybe it actually will work. The fact of the matter is, if you look at my previous video, I said the coronavirus would certainly impact the US economy, but I did not think it would stall it quite this much, actually at all. I was completely wrong about that, and if I had known, I would have sold my stock when I had the chance and then buy it back up when it went down. Unfortunately, I didn't know that because most people didn't. So now I'm just kind of riding the wave. That being said, we still shouldn't panic. Yes, we're in a difficult time. but I think we can work it out. I think we can get there. Just hold on, do what is suggested of you, try to avoid as much physical contact with people as possible, and we'll get through this. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.